Took the wrong key card. A gorgeous black woman walked in having faith in love is the most. Subscribe and tell us where you're watching us from today. The sound of the hotel room door opening made Griffin Carter freeze. He didn't move. One of his shoes was off, and the other was still on. His suit jacket was hanging from his fingers. It was 11:47 at night, and he was sure he didn't order room service. The door slowly opened. A tall woman with brown skin stood there. She looked just as surprised as Griffin. They stared at each other for 3 long seconds. Griffin was getting ready for bed. The woman was holding a rolling suitcase tightly. She had a key card in her hand. "I think there's been a mistake," they both said at the same time. Griffin spoke first. He quickly put his shoe back on. The woman looked past him into the room. She saw his open laptop on the desk, his suitcase on the rack, and a half-full glass of juice on the nightstand. "This is my room," Griffin said calmly. "Suite 3001. The woman looked at her key card, then looked back at him. "That can't be. The front desk gave me this key. Suite 3001. Griffin thought maybe she was trying to trick him. Rich people like him had to be careful. But she looked honest. She was wearing jeans and a cream sweater. Her hair was tied back in a bun. She didn't look like a thief. But what did a thief even look like? "Let me see your card," he said, holding out his hand. She gave it to him, but stayed a little far away. Griffin looked at the card. It looked just like his. Same hotel name, same silver stripe, and written on the back was 3001. "This is definitely my room," he said, and showed her his own key card. "I checked in this afternoon." She looked at his card and sighed. She looked tired. "I just flew in from London. It's almost midnight, and now the hotel gave me a room that's already taken." She turned to leave, pulling her suitcase behind her. Griffin felt something unusual. Normally, he would just close the door and go to bed, but tonight felt different. "Wait," he said. "I'll come with you." She turned and looked surprised. "Why would you do that?" It was a good question. Why would Griffin Carter, a rich businessman, help a stranger? "Because it's also my problem," he said, putting on his jacket, "and because it's the right thing to do." The woman looked at him, trying to figure out if he was telling the truth. Then she nodded. "I'm Olivia," she said. "Griffin Carter," he replied, shaking her hand. Her hand was warm, and her handshake was strong. "Well, Mr. Carter, let's go see why the Grand Plaza Hotel wants us to share a room." They took the elevator to the lobby. Griffin looked at Olivia. She looked tired, but still stood tall. She was very pretty, but it was more than that. She had a calm, strong feeling around her. The night manager looked very worried when they came to the desk. He typed fast on the computer. His face turned pale. "I'm so sorry, Miss Johnson." "Mr. Carter," he said quickly. "There was a mistake. When we gave Miss Johnson a new room, the computer said 3001 was empty, but it wasn't." "So where am I supposed to stay?" Olivia asked. Her voice was firm but kind. The manager typed more. "The hotel is full because of the finance meeting, but we do have the presidential suite. It costs more, but you can have it for free because of the mistake." Olivia nodded. "That's fine. Thank you." As the manager made her new key card, Griffin didn't want this moment to end. He felt curious about Olivia. "Are you here for the finance meeting?" he asked. She nodded. "I'm giving a talk about helping poor people in other countries with small loans." "This is my first time speaking at a big event. I'm nervous." Griffin smiled. "I'm sure you'll do great." The manager gave her the new key card. "The presidential suite, Miss Johnson, and again, we're very sorry." Olivia took the card. "Thank you," she said. Then she looked at Griffin. "And thank you for coming with me. You didn't have to." "It's okay," Griffin said. He didn't want her to leave yet. Before he could stop himself, he said, "Maybe we could get coffee tomorrow. I'd like to hear more about your work." She looked surprised, then smiled. "I'd like that. How about 9 o'clock at the Hotel Cafe?" "Perfect," Griffin said. They took the elevator again. Griffin went to suite 3001. Olivia went to the 32nd floor. Neither of them knew that someone had wanted Olivia in that room that night on purpose. And because that plan didn't work, something bad was coming. Very bad. The next morning, the hotel cafe was busy. Griffin sat at a corner table. He checked his watch. It was 8:55 a.m. He was early. He never came early for fun meetings, but this was different. At 9 exactly, Olivia walked in. She wore a navy blue suit and her hair was down in curls. She looked nice. Many people turned to look at her, but she walked straight to Griffin. "Good morning," she said, sitting down. "Did you sleep well after our midnight adventure?" Griffin smiled. "Better than I thought. Like a rock. That bed was the size of my apartment." She laughed. "I wondered if I dreamed it all. A hotel mix-up with a rich man sounds like a movie." Griffin raised his eyebrow. "You know who I am?" Olivia smiled. "I Googled you. Griffin Carter, boss of Carter Investments. You're very rich. I like to know who I'm having coffee with." "Fair enough," he said. "What did Google tell you?" "You're 39, never married, very smart but also tough in business. You give money to schools but don't share much about your life." She drank some water. "It didn't say that you help strangers at midnight." Griffin felt like she really saw him. It was a strange feeling. "What about you? What would I find if I Googled Olivia Johnson?" "Not much," she said. "I teach economics in London. I study how small loans can help poor people. I work in other countries and just got a big grant. Nothing fancy." The waiter came. Griffin ordered black coffee. Olivia got a cappuccino. They shared some pastries. "So," Griffin said, "tell me about your paper." They talked for an hour. Olivia spoke with energy. She cared about helping people. Griffin listened closely. He even told her about his life, about how his dad's company failed and how he built his own from nothing. "That must have been hard," Olivia said, "to rebuild everything with your dad's name still around." Griffin looked at her, surprised. "Everyone thought I'd fail, or be like him." "Is that why you're so?" She paused. "Ruthless?" he guessed. "Careful," she said. "You seem like someone who built strong walls." They looked at each other. Griffin felt open in a way he hadn't in years. Then his phone rang. "Sorry," he said, checking the screen. "I have to take this." Olivia nodded. "Carter," he said into the phone. It was his CFO. He sounded worried. "Griffin, we have a problem. Someone leaked the secret papers for the Horizon Tech merger. 3 news sites have them." Griffin felt cold. That merger was supposed to stay secret until next week. This leak could ruin everything. It was worth billions. "How bad is it?" Griffin asked. "Bad. The newspapers are printing it soon. Stocks are already dropping." "I'll be right there," Griffin said. He hung up and looked at Olivia. "I'm so sorry. Something bad happened at work. I have to go." She looked a little sad but nodded. "I understand." Griffin stood up. He wanted to see her again. He took out a card and wrote his number on the back. "I want to keep talking," he said. "Dinner tonight, maybe?" Olivia took the card and smiled. "I'd like that. Call me when you fix your company." Griffin rushed out, thinking about who could have leaked the papers. Only a few people had access. People he trusted, but he didn't know someone had done it on purpose. Just like someone had wanted Olivia in his room. Soon he would find out how these 2 events were connected, and things were going to get much worse. Olivia sat quietly in a big room with many chairs. She was at a meeting where smart people talked about money and how it works in countries that are still growing. Her talk was not until tomorrow, so she planned to take notes and meet new people today. But her thoughts kept going back to her breakfast with Griffin Carter and the strange reason he had to leave quickly. Later that morning, a big news story came out on TV. It was about Griffin's company, Carter Investments. People were talking a lot about a secret business deal that had been shared with the public. Olivia wondered how Griffin was feeling. Was he in meetings? Was he talking on TV? Suddenly, Olivia's phone buzzed. She looked at it and was surprised to see a message from a number she didn't know. It said, "Dinner still on for tonight. Crisis contained though not resolved. Would 8 p.m. work? Griffin." Olivia smiled and typed back, "Yes, 8 p.m. is perfect." She tried to listen to the speaker again. Then a man sat down next to her. He looked fancy, had shiny silver hair and sharp eyes. He leaned over and said, "Dr. Johnson, William Hargrove, I've been looking forward to meeting you." Olivia gave him a small smile. She felt a little nervous. "Mr. Hargrove, I don't think we've met," she said politely. "No, we haven't," he said. "But I know your work. I really liked your paper about honesty in business in poor countries." "I'm glad you read it," Olivia replied. William smiled, but it didn't look real. "I care about that topic a lot, and I heard you had breakfast with Griffin Carter this morning." Olivia was surprised. How did he know that? She stayed calm and said, "Does it surprise you that I know Mr. Carter?" "Not at all," he said. "That's exactly what I expected." He leaned in closer and whispered, "But I think you should know, Griffin Carter is not the man he pretends to be." Olivia sat up straight. "And you are?" she asked. "Let's just say I know the real Griffin Carter," he said. Then he put a tiny USB drive on her notebook. "This has everything you need to know about how Griffin really made his money. You should use this in your talk tomorrow about honesty in business." Before Olivia could speak, William stood up and walked away. She looked down at the little USB drive. What was William trying to do? What was on this drive? It felt like something strange was happening. First, the key card mix-up. Then, the secret business papers that got out. Now this USB, she wanted to throw it away. She barely knew Griffin, but she liked their talk at breakfast. Still, her curiosity was strong. That's what made her a good researcher. So she put the USB in her pocket. Later that night, in her hotel room, Olivia walked back and forth. She looked at the USB on her desk. Her laptop was open. She felt like she was betraying Griffin by looking at the drive, but she also felt like she had to know the truth. She took a deep breath and plugged in the drive. It was full of files, money records, private emails, photos, and one big file called Carter Investments, the true story. She clicked it and started reading. The file said Griffin's first big win in business happened because he got secret info in an illegal way. It also said he paid bribes in other countries to make more money. Olivia felt sick. If this was true, Griffin was everything she worked against in her job. But was it true? The files looked real. Emails, pictures, bank transfers, meetings with bad people. Her phone buzzed again. "Looking forward to seeing you at 8. I've made reservations at Lumiere. Griffin." She stared at the message, then looked at her laptop. What should she do? Should she ask him about it? Pretend she didn't know? Cancel dinner? A knock at the door made her jump. She closed her laptop and went to open it. It wasn't hotel staff, it was Griffin Carter. "I'm sorry to show up like this," Griffin said, "but we need to talk. Someone is trying to set me up and they're using you." Olivia's heart pounded. "What do you mean?" she asked. "Can I come in? This isn't something we should talk about in the hallway." She paused, then let him in. As she closed the door, she noticed her laptop and the USB still plugged in. Griffin saw it too. His face grew serious. "I see William Hargrove found you already." "You know him?" Olivia asked. "We have a history," Griffin said quietly, "and now he's dragging you into it." He nodded toward the laptop. "That drive probably has a lot of bad things about me." Olivia nodded. "It does. Is it true?" Griffin rubbed his face, looking tired. "No, not the way he's saying it, but it's a clever lie. There's just enough truth to make it look real." "Why would he do this?" Olivia asked. Griffin walked to the window. "William was my dad's business partner a long time ago. They did bad things, the kind I want to stop now. I found out and I was going to tell the world. But my dad..." Griffin's voice got quiet. "He ended his life. He couldn't face the shame." Olivia felt a lump in her throat. "Hargrove got away with everything, but he lost a lot and he blames me. So now he's using me to hurt you," Olivia said softly. "Yes, he knows your name means something. If you use those files in your talk tomorrow, it will ruin your reputation and my company." Griffin looked her in the eyes. The question is, do you believe him or me? Olivia didn't know what to say. I'm not sure, she said, but I need more than just your word. Griffin nodded. He pulled out another flash drive. This has the truth. Real proof about Hargrove, my dad, and what really happened. Look at both sides and decide. He placed it next to her laptop and walked to the door. For what it's worth, Griffin said, breakfast with you was the most honest conversation I've had in years. Then he left. Olivia stood still, staring at the two flash drives. The truth was somewhere in those files. She had to figure it out by tomorrow. Her talk wasn't just about rules anymore. It could change lives. Later that night, Olivia walked into the restaurant called Lumiere. It was bright and fancy. She wore a black dress and felt a little nervous. Griffin was already there and stood up when he saw her. You came, he said, smiling. I said I would, she replied, sitting down. The air between them felt heavy. They didn't talk about the flash drives right away. The waiter came with menus. You should try the fish. It's great here, Griffin said. Olivia put down her menu. I spent the last 3 hours reading both sets of files. Griffin didn't show emotion. And? I have questions. He nodded and told the waiter, we'll need more time. When they were alone, he said, ask me anything. I'll tell you the truth. The pictures of you and Minister Okafor in Lagos, she said. Were you giving him bribes? No, Griffin said. We were talking about helping kids with scholarships and fixing towns hurt by mining. And the money sent to bank accounts overseas? That was money for real community projects. All of it was checked and legal. Olivia looked at him. He didn't seem scared. He answered every question with calm and honesty. For an hour, she asked about every file. His answers matched the proof he gave her. Your father, Olivia said. Hargrove says you turned him in to save yourself. Griffin looked sad. My dad turned his back on everything good. I tried to help him fix it. I gave him a chance. But he didn't take it. Griffin stared at his water glass. Hargrove never forgave me, he whispered. The waiter came back and they ordered food. But neither of them was really hungry. I believe you, Olivia said softly. Griffin looked up fast. Why? Because your evidence is better, and because you answered every question honestly. She paused. Also, I trust my feelings about people. Your feelings could be wrong, he said. They could be, she agreed, but I'm choosing to trust them anyway. She reached out and gently touched his hand. Trusting people is a risk, she said, but sometimes it's worth it. Griffin's face softened. He looked less guarded. What will you do in your talk tomorrow? He asked. My presentation is about helping people with good systems, Olivia said strongly. It's not about William Harrow's personal problems. Griffin looked very relieved. Thank you. Don't thank me for doing the right thing, Olivia said with a small smile. But I'm curious, how did you know Harrow had talked to me so quickly? Griffin nodded. I didn't know at first, but when I checked how the company's secret got out, I found a hacked email. Then I saw photos of us eating breakfast and hotel records showing your room number. It wasn't hard to guess what he was planning. So the key card mix-up, Olivia began, was on purpose, Griffin confirmed. Harrow has friends at the hotel. He wanted you in my room. Maybe he bugged it. When that failed, he went to plan B. Olivia shivered. She now realized how much Harrow had tried to control everything. And the leaked secret was meant to distract you while he talked to me? She asked. Griffin nodded. Harrow is always careful with his tricks. Their food came, but they didn't eat much. Instead, they talked about nicer things. Olivia's life in London, Griffin's rare time away from work, books they liked, and places they had visited. Despite the serious day, Olivia laughed at Griffin's dry jokes. He also seemed very interested in her stories about helping villages far away. For dessert, they were given a chocolate souffle, even though they hadn't ordered it. The chef said they must try it. Griffin asked, What happens after tomorrow? You go back to London. I stay here with the company problems. Olivia didn't know what to say. This isn't how I thought the conference would go. Me neither, Griffin said with a smile. But I don't regret the room mix-up. They looked at each other across the table. Olivia felt that same spark she felt during their first coffee. It was like they had known each other for much longer. Let's finish tomorrow first, Olivia said. Your company problem, my presentation, then we can talk about what's next. As they left the restaurant, Griffin walked her to her room. In the elevator, he said, I should warn you, Harrow won't stop easily now that his plan didn't work. You think he'll try something during my presentation? Olivia asked. It's possible, Griffin said seriously. I've added more security, but be ready for anything. They stopped outside her door. Griffin said, in any other time, this would be the moment for a goodnight kiss. Instead, he gently held her hand. Thank you for believing me, he said softly. Most people wouldn't. Then they don't know you well, Olivia said. Suddenly, she realized how much she wanted to know him better. As she went into her room, Olivia wondered if she was being silly. Was she falling for a man she'd only just met? What she didn't know was that Griffin was thinking the same thing in the hallway. For the first time in 20 years, he had let someone see the real him, and it scared him. Neither of them slept much that night. Olivia practiced her presentation again and again, making sure it was perfect. Griffin called his security team to make sure Olivia would be safe. But what they didn't know was that Harrow had already started his next plan, one that would test both their trust and Olivia's beliefs. The conference hall was packed with people. It was rare to see every seat filled for an academic talk. Backstage, Olivia took deep breaths. Her slides were ready, her notes were in place, she was nervous, but she was ready. Then a young helper came up. There's been a change, he said. Dr. William Harrow will be joining your panel. Olivia's heart sank. That wasn't approved. The committee chair just said yes, the helper explained. Before Olivia could say anything more, the moderator started the session. Applause filled the room. Olivia had no choice but to go on stage with a smile, even though she was worried. She looked at Griffin in the front row. He gave her a small nod. She nodded back and began. Good morning. My talk today is about building honest and fair money systems in poor countries. Her voice got stronger as she spoke. For 20 minutes, Olivia explained her research. The audience listened carefully. Then she saw Harrow walk up to the panel table. He was smiling in a creepy way. After she finished, the moderator said, Dr. Harrow, would you like to say something? Thank you, Harrow said. Dr. Johnson's work is good. But what about when big companies like Carter Investments don't act honestly in the places she studies? People turned to look at Griffin. Olivia's heart beat faster, but she stayed calm. I don't talk about companies unless I've studied them closely, she said. But based on public info, Carter Investments follows good rules. Harrow smiled wider. Interesting. I have some extra files to share. Suddenly, he showed emails, money records, and pictures on the screen behind Olivia, taken from the USB drive he had given her. These show that Carter Investments doesn't follow the rules Olivia says are important, he announced loudly. Griffin's face turned dark. This was the public trap they had feared. The moderator looked shocked. This wasn't part of the plan. Sometimes new info is needed, Harrow said smoothly. The audience needs the truth. Olivia knew she had just seconds to act. She stood up. What the audience needs is full, honest information, she said, not pieces taken out of context. She turned to the crowd. Do you want to see the real documents, not just Harrow's pieces? People said yes. Olivia plugged in her laptop and showed the full files Griffin had given her. She showed that Harrow had changed the data. Times didn't match, emails were missing parts, and things had been added. This isn't just about one company, Olivia said. It's about truth. Changed data doesn't help anyone, especially not the poor people I want to help. For 15 minutes, she carefully explained how Harrow's slides were fake. The audience began to understand. Harrow's face turned red. This is ridiculous, he yelled. I'm defending the truth, Olivia replied. Not a person. You can't see that because you're focused on hurting Griffin Carter. A guard whispered to Harrow. 2 police officers had arrived in the back. This is over, Harrow said, packing up. No, Olivia replied. Now it's really getting interesting. She pointed at the officers. I think they'd like to ask about your spying, hacking, and stealing files. Harrow's eyes darted around. Then he ran toward the exit. One officer chased him. The other spoke into a radio. The room was full of chatter. Olivia's hands were shaking. Griffin came up to the stage. Are you okay? He asked. I think so, she said, trying to smile. Did you call the police? She asked. Yes, he said. But how you proved his lies, that was amazing. It was scary, she said. I thought it was brilliant, he smiled. You didn't just protect me, you stood up for the truth. They looked at each other. Something deepened between them in that moment. A reporter rushed up, asking questions. Griffin stepped in front of Olivia. No questions now, he said. The conference chair came over, apologizing. We didn't know Harrow would do that. The police asked Griffin and Olivia to stay for more questions. In a quiet corner, Olivia sat down, feeling the day catch up to her. I just ruined a man's reputation in front of everyone, she whispered. He was trying to ruin both of us, Griffin reminded her. I know, Olivia said, and I'm glad I told the truth. But this isn't who I usually am. I'm a teacher, a researcher, not whatever this is. Griffin understood. I never wanted to bring you into my past with Harrow. You didn't, Olivia said. I made my own choices. Then, a police officer walked up and asked for their formal statements. The next few hours went by very fast. There were many questions, answers, and a lot of papers to fill out. The police told Olivia and Griffin that Harrow had been caught while trying to leave the hotel. It was late in the afternoon when they were finally allowed to go. Standing in the hotel lobby, Griffin asked, What do you need right now? Olivia thought about it. She didn't know exactly what she needed. Maybe peace, or time to think. Fresh air, she said at last. I know just the place, Griffin replied. They got into the car. It drove through the busy city and then up into Green Hills. Olivia looked out the window, happy to leave the hotel and all the scary things behind. Where are we going? She asked. Somewhere I go when I need to think, Griffin said. It's not far. After 20 minutes, they arrived at a gravel driveway. It led to a small stone house. The house was surrounded by tall trees. There was a porch all around it and flowers growing up the sides. This is yours? Olivia asked as they got out of the car. Griffin nodded. He took a key from under a flower pot. It belonged to my grandmother. When she passed away, I couldn't sell it, he said. He opened the door and let Olivia go in first. My helpers take care of it, but I'm the only one who comes here. Inside, the house was warm and simple. There were comfy chairs, shelves full of books, and big windows with sunlight shining in. No fancy stuff, just a home that someone loved, Griffin said. It's beautiful, Olivia said. She felt more relaxed now. There's a path behind the house. It goes to a small lake, Griffin told her. Want to see it? They walked on the path. Sunlight came through the trees. Birds were singing. It was quiet and peaceful. They didn't talk, but the silence felt nice. Then they saw the lake. It was round and blue, surrounded by trees and flowers. A small wooden dock went out into the water. 2 chairs sat at the end. My grandmother called this her thinking spot, Griffin said. She said the water helped her think clearly. They walked to the end of the dock and sat down. Olivia closed her eyes. The sun felt warm on her face. For the first time that day, she felt calm. Thank you for bringing me here, she said after a while. This is just what I needed. Griffin looked at her and smiled. You were amazing today, he said gently. I was really scared, she said. But when something you believe in is tested, you have to choose. You stand by it or you don't. That's what I admire about you, Griffin said. You always do what's right. It's not just an idea. It's who you are. Is that strange in your world? She asked. More than it should be, Griffin said. In business, people make a lot of deals. They forget what's right and wrong, but you don't. And you? She asked. Griffin looked at the water. I watched my father make bad choices. It changed him. I told myself I'd never be like that. Is it lonely? Olivia asked, standing strong when others don't? Her question surprised Griffin. Yes, he said, it is. That explains a lot, Olivia said. The way you act like you don't care, it's like armor to protect yourself. Griffin felt she understood him better than most people. You see more than most, he said. I'm an economist, Olivia said with a smile. I look for patterns and meaning. They sat quietly. The sun started to set, making the lake shine with golden light. I should probably take you back to the hotel, Griffin said, though he didn't move. Your flight to London is tomorrow, right? Olivia nodded, but she didn't want to go. Their eyes met. They both felt something special between them. You could stay here tonight, Griffin said. There are 2 bedrooms. You'd have your own room. He added quickly, in the morning I can show you the rest of the place before we head back. Olivia knew the smart thing would be to go back, pack, and stay safe. But something inside her wanted to stay. I'd like that, she said. Griffin smiled. It was a warm and honest smile. As it got dark, they made a simple dinner. Griffin knew how to cook. He said he liked cooking when he stayed at the cottage. They ate on the porch. Stars started to appear in the sky. They talked about books, places they'd seen, and dreams they once had. I wanted to be a piano player when I was young, Griffin said. What happened? Olivia asked. My dad's business started having problems. I gave up music to study business. Do you still play? Griffin looked sad. No, not for a long time. Olivia didn't ask more. She shared her own story. She grew up in a small town near Philadelphia. Her parents were teachers who supported her love for economics, even if they didn't understand it. They were so proud when I got the job in London, she said. They sound wonderful, Griffin said. They're very different. My dad is logical. My mom is creative, but they work well together. They've been married 35 years and still hold hands. That's rare, Griffin said. It is, but I think that's why I believe in love. They taught me that some things are worth trusting. They looked at each other under the soft porch light. It was quiet. Crickets chirped. The wind rustled the trees. Griffin stood and picked up the dinner plates. It's getting late. Let me show you your room. The guest room was cozy. There was a soft quilt and fresh flowers. Griffin gave Olivia a clean t-shirt to sleep in. If you need anything, I'll be down the hall, he said. Thank you, Olivia said, for everything. You're welcome. Good night, Olivia. Good night, Griffin. Olivia changed into the t-shirt. It was big on her. She got into bed, but she wasn't sleepy. Her mind was full of thoughts. She remembered the look in Griffin's eyes when he gave her his flash drive. She remembered how he talked about his dad. She remembered how he looked at her during dinner. In his room, Griffin couldn't sleep either. He stood by the window, looking at the moonlit garden. In just 2 days, Olivia had touched his heart. He wondered why, and what would happen when she left. Late at night, Olivia got up. She wrapped a blanket around her and went to the kitchen for water. The kitchen was dark except for the moonlight. She had just taken a sip when she heard a noise behind her. She turned and saw Griffin. He was wearing pajamas. His hair was messy. I couldn't sleep, he said. Me neither, she said. He poured some water for himself. Too many thoughts? Something like that, Olivia said. You know what I keep thinking about? What? How different everything would be if I hadn't walked into your hotel room by mistake. Do you regret it? Griffin asked. No, she said. Do you? Not at all. Now he was standing very close. She could feel his warmth. Olivia. She looked up at him. He slowly reached out. She didn't step away. Instead, she stepped closer. Their first kiss was soft and careful. The second kiss was full of feeling. His arms went around her. Her arms wrapped around his neck. The blanket fell to the floor. All the walls they had built around themselves melted away. When they pulled back, breathing hard, Griffin rested his forehead on hers. I don't want you to leave tomorrow, he said. I know, she whispered, but I have a job and a life in London. And I have mine here, he said. So what do we do? She touched his face. I don't know, she said, but I want to find out. He smiled and kissed her hand. Then we'll figure it out. They sat on the couch and talked in whispers. They didn't want to wake the quiet night. As Olivia rested her head on Griffin's shoulder and he held her close, she realized something. Sometimes believing in love isn't about being sure. It's about seeing what might be possible and being brave enough to try. Outside, the birds began to sing as the morning light came in through the cottage windows. Olivia and Griffin knew that no matter what happened next, they would face it together. Their journey started with a mistake, a wrong key card, but it led to something wonderful that neither of them expected. The morning sun came through the cottage windows. Olivia and Griffin were asleep on the sofa. They had talked for a long time until they were too tired and fell asleep. Olivia's head rested on Griffin's chest and his arm was around her shoulders. A little bird chirped outside the window and woke Olivia up. She stayed still for a moment, listening to Griffin's heartbeat. Everything that had happened in the last 2 days felt like a dream. First, the keycard mistake. Then, the trouble with Harrove. After that, the big meeting at the conference. And now, she was close to a man who had been a stranger just 2 days ago. Griffin moved a little and held her closer. Then he opened his eyes. "Good morning," he said, his voice sleepy. "Morning," Olivia replied as she sat up slowly. "I think we talked ourselves to sleep." Griffin smiled and gently tucked her hair behind her ear. It was such a kind move that it made Olivia's heart beat faster. "Are you hungry? I make pretty good pancakes," he said. In the kitchen, they worked together easily, like they had done it many times before. Griffin made the pancake mix while Olivia cut fresh fruit. The smell of coffee filled the cottage. They didn't talk about Olivia leaving later that day, but they both knew it was coming. They sat on the porch eating breakfast. They watched the mist rise from the lake. Griffin was the first to speak. "I've been thinking." "Dangerous," Olivia teased. He smiled. "Maybe. But I've realized something in the last 2 days." He put down his coffee and looked at her. "My life looks perfect to other people, but before you walked into my hotel room, I didn't know how empty it had become." Olivia's heart beat faster. "Griffin, let me finish," he said softly. "I know 2 days isn't a long time to really know someone, but I don't want to just say goodbye at the airport and hope things work out." "What are you saying?" she asked. "Come back," he said. "Not forever. Not yet, but soon. Stay for a week or maybe a month. Whatever you can do with your teaching schedule. Let's give this a real try." Olivia looked at the lake. It was not easy. She worked at UCL. He worked at Carter Investments. They lived far apart. But going back to her normal life in London without him felt impossible. "I could come back during my school break," she said slowly. "It starts in 3 weeks. Griffin looked hopeful. "How long?" 2 weeks. "Maybe 3 if I can plan it with my department." 3 weeks, he repeated. "That feels like a long time." Olivia smiled and held his hand. "We need time to think about everything, to see if this is real. Not just because of the crazy 2 days. Griffin nodded. "You're right, and I have to fix things with Harrove and the company merger." "What will happen to Harrove?" Olivia asked. "He'll be charged with spying and hacking," Griffin replied. "But people like him don't go to jail for long. His name is ruined, though, which might be worse for him. The merger will still happen, but people will be watching it very closely. We both have a lot of work to do." "I have a grant to write, papers to grade, and meetings," Olivia said. They looked at each other. Both of them had busy lives, but they also had something special now. "We'll have to try really hard to make this work," Griffin said. "Yes," Olivia agreed, "but I think it's worth it." He leaned in and kissed her gently. "Definitely worth it." They spent the rest of the day walking around the cottage. Griffin showed her his grandmother's garden and told her stories from when he was a little boy. Olivia listened carefully, learning more about the man behind the businessman. Soon it was time to go. Olivia had to fly back to London. Griffin had to return to his company. "I should get you back to the hotel," Griffin said. "You need to pack before your ride to the airport." Olivia nodded. Yes, we should go. As they drove back to the city, Griffin's phone rang. It played through the car speakers. He looked at it. "It's my office. Do you mind if I answer?" "Of course not," Olivia said. He said into the phone, now sounding like a strong business leader, if his CFO spoke. "Griffin, we have a problem with the Horizon deal. The board wants an emergency meeting in 2 hours." "What happened?" Griffin asked, holding the wheel tightly. Harov spoke to them before he got arrested. Now they are worried and thinking of changing the deal. Griffin frowned. "I'll be there." He hung up and looked at Olivia. "I'm sorry." "Don't be," she said kindly. "This is your job. I understand. It means I can't take you to the airport." "Griffin, it's fine. I can get there myself." He smiled a little. "I know you can. I just wanted more time." "We'll have more time," she promised. 3 weeks isn't too long. When they reached her hotel, Griffin stopped the car. He held both her hands. "Call me when you land, no matter what time it is." "I will," she said. He leaned over and kissed her. It was a strong kiss full of love, hope, and fear. Neither wanted to say goodbye, but they had to. 3 weeks, he whispered. 3 weeks, she agreed. Then she got out of the car before she changed her mind. As she watched Griffin drive away, Olivia felt unsure. Was she silly for falling for someone she met just 2 days ago? Someone from a very different world? But then she remembered the way he looked at her, how honest he was when he talked about his father, and how he made her feel special. Some things, she decided, were worth believing in. 3 weeks later, Griffin stood at the airport, waiting. He watched all the passengers coming out, hoping to see Olivia. Then he saw her, pulling her suitcase. She looked tired from the flight, but when she smiled at him, his heart felt alive again. She walked to him, and everything else faded away. The noise, the people, the messages on his phone. "Welcome back," he said. "It's good to be back," she said warmly. He took her suitcase with one hand and held her other hand. Griffin felt like he was home. Not in a place, but with a person. That night, it rained at Griffin's fancy apartment. It was cozy inside. Olivia sat on the sofa with her school papers. She had brought student work from London. Across the room, Griffin worked at his desk. Sometimes he looked up to watch her. They had been living like this for 2 weeks now. During the day, they worked. At night, they explored the city or stayed in, enjoying each other's company. That night, they stayed in, had dinner, and talked a little while working. Olivia looked up and saw Griffin watching her. "What?" she asked with a smile. Later, after dinner and after their guests had gone home, Griffin led Olivia to the balcony. The stars were shining. "I have something for you," he said. He pulled a small box from his pocket. Olivia looked surprised. "Griffin?" He opened the box. Inside was not a ring, but a silver key on a chain. "This is a key to the cottage," he said. "You can go there anytime, even if I'm not there. It can be your special place too." Tears filled Olivia's eyes. She knew how much the cottage meant to him. Giving her a key was a big deal. "Thank you," she whispered. He put the chain around her neck. She hugged him and he kissed her gently. She looked up at him. "We'll make this work, somehow." "Yes," he said, "we will." The next morning, saying goodbye was hard. At the airport, Olivia held the key around her neck like a good luck charm. 3 months, Griffin said. "Christmas break. You'll come back." 3 months, she repeated. "We can do that." They kissed one last time. It was a short kiss, but full of love and hope. As Olivia walked away through security, Griffin felt like something was missing. On the plane, Olivia looked out the window. The land disappeared behind her, replaced by the ocean. The smart part of her brain said this relationship would be hard. They lived far apart. They had different jobs. But her hand touched the key around her neck. It reminded her of what they had. And as the plane flew toward London, she believed that they would find a way, because some things are just meant to be, even if they don't make sense. December came. It was cold in London. Olivia rushed across the school campus, her coat wrapped tight. Her phone buzzed. It was probably Griffin. He called every day on his lunch break. She stood under a stone archway and answered the phone, smiling. "Hey you. Hey yourself," Griffin said, his voice warm. "How's my favorite professor?" "Not a famous professor yet," she joked. She was freezing and very busy. "Sounds fancy," he teased. "Want to trade? I have meetings all day until 9 tonight." Olivia and Griffin talked on the phone for a few special minutes. They talked about Olivia's students, Griffin's new business deal, and the holidays coming up. They were excited to be together again soon. These little talks were the best part of their day. They helped them feel close, even though they were far apart. 13 more days, Olivia reminded Griffin as they were about to hang up. "And then 3 whole weeks together. I'm counting every hour," Griffin said. "I miss you, Griffin." "I miss you too, Olivia. Talk tomorrow?" "Wouldn't miss it," she said. After the call, Olivia put away her phone and touched the little key hanging on a chain under her shirt. She always did that after their calls. It reminded her of him. Talking every day and seeing each other on video calls during weekends helped them stay close. But nothing was better than being together in the same room. As Olivia walked to her office, she saw Professor Winters, the head of her department, waving from the lounge. "Dr. Johnson, can I speak with you for a moment?" Olivia walked over. "Good morning, Professor Winters." "Good morning. I have great news." Professor Winters smiled and handed Olivia a hot cup of coffee. "Enough. The committee decided. You've been chosen for the Distinguished Research Chair position." Olivia almost dropped the coffee. "Already? I thought the decision would come next term." "We didn't want to wait," said Winters. "Your work on helping countries with money problems is famous now. The university is excited to help you keep going. Even the vice-chancellor wanted this to happen faster." "I'm honored," Olivia said. She felt very happy. "There's more," said Winters. "The Odin Foundation wants to give money to support a new project for your research. It's a big one, 3 years long and in many countries. You'd travel a lot and get a great team and budget." Olivia was amazed. The Odin Foundation was very important in her field. This project could take her work to a whole new level. "The full details are in your inbox," Winters added. "They need your answer by New Year's." "Thank you for telling me," Olivia said. All day, Olivia could only think about the proposal. It was big, exciting, and everything she had ever dreamed of. But it also meant she would have to delay her Christmas trip to see Griffin. The first meetings were during the time she had planned to be with him. That evening, she asked for a video chat instead of a quick call. When Griffin answered, he looked worried. "What's wrong?" he asked. Olivia took a deep breath and told him everything: the research chair, the Odin Foundation grant, and the problem with the dates. Griffin listened and then said, "That's amazing. You really deserve this." "But it means changing our Christmas plans," she said. "The first meetings are very important. People are coming from all over the world." Griffin was quiet. "When would we see each other then?" "February," Olivia said. "During reading week." 2 more months, he said, trying not to sound too sad. "I'm sorry," Olivia said. She felt torn between the great job offer and their love. "Don't apologize," Griffin said. He looked strong, but she could tell he was sad. "We'll adjust." After that, they talked about when they might see each other next and how to make it work. But the call didn't feel as warm as usual. The next morning, Olivia tried to call him like always, but he didn't answer. Later, she got a short text. "Sorry, emergency meeting. Talk tomorrow." This kept happening. Their talks became shorter and less often. When they did talk, they mostly talked about work. Olivia felt like they were drifting apart. A week before Christmas, Olivia sat in her apartment alone. Griffin had canceled their video call again. She missed him so much. She touched the key around her neck and made a sudden decision. She opened her laptop and bought a plane ticket to America. The meetings didn't start until after Christmas. She had time. She didn't tell Griffin. She just knew she had to see him. A day later, tired from her long flight and drive, Olivia arrived at Griffin's little house in the snowy hills. Snow covered everything like a storybook. The lights were on. He was home. Her heart beat fast. She took her suitcase and walked to the door. She used the key he had given her. The door opened. Inside was warm and cozy. A fire was burning. The Christmas tree smelled like pine. It felt like home. "Griffin?" She called gently. She heard a sound and saw him come from the kitchen holding a mug. He looked shocked. "Olivia? How did you—" "You gave me a key," she said, touching her necklace. "I couldn't stay away any longer." He stared at her for a moment. Then he put the mug down and ran to her. He hugged her tight and kissed her like he had missed her so much. When they pulled apart, both breathing hard, Griffin said, "I thought I lost you." "Why would you think that?" He led her to the couch and held her hand tightly. "You got this amazing chance. I was scared. I didn't want to make you feel like you had to choose between me and your work." "Oh, Griffin," she said. "I never saw it as a choice between you and my job." "Didn't you?" he asked. 3 years of travel, a big job in London, and I'm stuck here with my company." "It's not a choice," she said. "It's something we can figure out together. I said yes to the chair position, but I haven't said yes to the Odin Foundation yet." Griffin looked hopeful. "Why not?" "Because I wanted to talk to you first. Really talk, not over the phone." She took both his hands. "I love my work, but I've learned something these past months. I love you too." It was the first time she had said it. Griffin's eyes filled with emotion. "I love you too," he said. "More than I thought I could." She smiled. "Then we'll figure this out. Maybe the project can be changed. Maybe your company has business in the countries I'm going to." He kissed her softly. "Maybe we don't need to solve everything tonight. You're here. That's what matters." The next morning, they woke up together in bed. The sun shone on the snow outside. There were no meetings, no busy schedules, just the two of them. They talked all day. They cooked together. They walked through the snow to the frozen lake. As night came, they sat by the fire with the Christmas lights glowing. "I've been thinking," Griffin said, "about us, about the future." Olivia looked at him. "What is it?" "What if Carter Investments opened an office in London? Not a small branch. The main office for Europe." Olivia sat up straighter. "Are you serious?" "Yes," Griffin said. "The New Deal gives us a lot of clients in Europe, and I want to be near you. I could spend half my time in London." Hope filled Olivia's heart. "And the Odin Foundation project?" "We support it," Griffin said. "You travel for your research. I travel for work. We make sure we're together as much as we can. It won't be perfect, but it could work," she finished. "It could definitely work," he said, pulling her close. "If we believe in us." Outside, snow began to fall again. Inside, they were wrapped in each other's arms, planning a future that started with a wrong keycard and a surprising meeting. It wouldn't be easy. There would be hard times, but they knew it was worth it. "Merry Christmas," Griffin whispered. "Merry Christmas," Olivia said. She felt safe in his arms, knowing this was just the beginning of something beautiful. 1 year later, the Grand Plaza Hotel ballroom was full of lights and decorations for the big holiday party. It was the International Finance Conference Gala. At a quiet table in the corner, Olivia drank a little champagne and watched Griffin across the room. He was talking to some people. He looked over and smiled just for her. Then he came over and sat beside her. "Sorry about that," he said. "Silas needed help with the Singapore deal." "It's okay," Olivia said, taking his hand. "I was just thinking." "About what? How much has changed in a year?" Griffin smiled. "Yes, life-changing is the right word." Olivia smiled as she remembered everything that had happened since that special night when she walked into Griffin's hotel room by mistake. Now, she had a very important job, She was the head of a big research project, and her name was written on the door of her new office at UCL, a big university. The Odin Foundation project had already been going on for 6 months, and the first results from Ghana looked very good. Griffin had also kept his promise. He opened a big office for his company, Carter Investments, in London. He split his time between America and London, 2 weeks in each place. Olivia joined him whenever she wasn't busy with her research and teaching. They made a cozy cottage their special place. Whenever they were both in America, they stayed there together. Everything wasn't perfect. Sometimes they missed each other's calls because of the time difference. Sometimes they got frustrated trying to make time for each other with their busy schedules. But they had learned how to make it work. They talked honestly when they were apart, and always believed in the love they were building together. "I just realized something," Griffin said, looking around the big ballroom. "We're in the exact same hotel where we met. Room 3001, Olivia said with a smile. "I wonder if they fixed the keycard system." "Let's not find out," Griffin said, holding her hand. "One mix-up is enough for a lifetime, don't you think?" Just then, the man with the microphone said dinner would be served soon. People started going to their tables. Griffin leaned closer to Olivia. "What would you think about skipping the rubber chicken dinner?" he whispered. "I have something I want to show you." Olivia was curious. She nodded, and they quietly left the ballroom. Griffin led her to the elevator. "Where are we going?" Olivia asked as they stepped inside. "You'll see," Griffin said. He looked a little nervous. When they reached the 30th floor, he led her down the hallway and stopped in front of a door. It was room 3001. Olivia looked at him, surprised, as he took out a keycard. "Griffin, what are you doing?" "Just go along with it," he said with a smile. He slid the card into the door and the green light blinked. He opened the door and let her go in first. Olivia walked in and gasped. The room was filled with soft candlelight. White rose petals were on the floor. A little table for two was set by the window, showing a view of the city lights. "What is all this?" she asked, turning around. Griffin was watching her with a smile. "I wanted to take us back to where it all began," he said, holding her hands. "1 year ago, you came into my room by accident and everything changed." His voice became softer. "You walked into my life by mistake, but staying with me, that was something we chose together." Olivia felt her eyes fill with tears. "This year wasn't easy," Griffin said. "The distance, our busy schedules, learning to balance our careers while making time for each other. But every hard moment just made me more sure of one thing." He reached into his pocket and pulled out a small velvet box. Then he got down on one knee. Olivia held her breath as he opened the box. Inside was a beautiful emerald ring with shiny diamonds. "Olivia Johnson," he said, his voice steady even though his eyes were full of feeling. "I love you. I love your intelligence, your kindness, your honesty, and your strength. I love how you challenge me, how you believe in me, and how you've helped me become a better man." He took a deep breath. "Will you marry me?" For a moment, Olivia was so full of emotion she couldn't speak. Then, with no doubt at all, she nodded. "Yes," she whispered. Then louder, "Yes, Griffin, I will." Griffin's face lit up with happiness. He slipped the ring onto her finger and stood up, pulling her into a warm hug. Their kiss was gentle, full of love and dreams. When they finally stopped kissing, Olivia looked at the emerald ring. "It's beautiful," she said softly. "It reminded me of your eyes," Griffin said. "And emeralds stand for truth and faith. Those are two things that have always been part of our love." He led her to the little table by the window. A bottle of cold champagne was waiting. As he poured 2 glasses, Olivia thought about their journey. They had gone from strangers to friends to people in love. They had beaten the distance, the doubts, and their busy lives. "To us," Griffin said, lifting his glass, "and to wrong keycards." Olivia giggled and touched her glass to his. "To having faith," she added, "even when it seems impossible." Later that night, they lay together in the same hotel suite where their story had started. Olivia rested her head on Griffin's chest and listened to his heartbeat. Outside the window, the city sparkled with holiday lights. It was the perfect setting for their special night. "What are you thinking about?" Griffin asked, running his fingers through her hair. "I'm thinking about how everything could have been different," Olivia said. "If I had gone back downstairs that night, if I had listened to Harrow's lies, if I had chosen the safe path and never taken a chance on us." Griffin was quiet for a moment. Then he said, "I don't think we would have missed each other. Some connections are meant to happen, no matter what." Olivia smiled and looked up at him. "That's not very scientific coming from you." "You've changed me," Griffin said. "You taught me that not everything can be explained with numbers or plans. Love isn't a business deal." "I agree," Olivia said with a playful smile, "though I think I got the better deal." Griffin laughed and pulled her close. "I'm marrying the smart, amazing research chair, an international expert, and the most beautiful woman I've ever seen. I think I win." "Maybe we both win," Olivia said, snuggling against him. They still had many things to figure out, like planning a wedding in 2 places, deciding if they would live in 1 house or 2, and how to handle their busy jobs. But as Olivia closed her eyes in Griffin's arms, she felt sure about their future. Because sometimes the most surprising beginnings lead to the most beautiful journeys. A simple mistake, like a wrong hotel key card, could lead to the best discovery of all, love. A love worth believing in, no matter what. And in the quiet night, in the same room where it all began, Olivia and Griffin held each other tightly. They knew they had found something rare and special. A love strong enough to beat any challenge. A love that started with a mistake, but had led them to exactly the right place. Thanks for watching. If you liked the story, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share your thoughts in the comments. Check out our other videos too. See you in the next one.